Time to go live. Going live. And according to YouTube, I am live. Hello, if you're watching live. Hello, if you're watching on playback. And welcome to my 44th I Have Lots to Say live stream on this channel. So basically, if you don't know what these live streams are, essentially once or twice, maybe 3 times a week, although it definitely won't be once or it definitely won't be twice or 3 times this week. But essentially, once a week at the moment, I talk about current movie and TV topics going on in the movie and TV world right now. At the same time, though, I'll also be answering any live questions that enjoy this live stream. And also, if you have a topic you want to talk about in this next live, in my next live stream, should I say, please let me know in the comments section below. So basically, normally I do these live streams on a Wednesday, but yesterday I was ridiculously busy. And I'm still ridiculously busy today, but I just managed to fit in around this time a short live stream. It's only going to be a short live stream. Now I have to make it short today. I can't ramble on like I usually do, but it's a short live stream today, and today I'm talking about whether nostalgia, and I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but whether nostalgia in film is a good or a bad thing, and I might have a bit of an interesting opinion, which you might not expect on that. But anyway, nevertheless, before I jump into my main topic for today, first of all, I'm going to talk about, first of all, I need to get some housekeeping items off the bat. That's what I need to do. I need to get some housekeeping items off the bat. First of all, I live next to a main road, so basically, if you do hear like a loud tractor, truck, car, or whatnot going past at any point during this live stream, I do apologise if it interferes with the sound. And also, even so I live in the countryside, sometimes it does feel like I live next to a building site. Honestly, there's always some sort of work going on at the houses next to me, so at any point you do hear, you might hear a loud truck going past right now, but at any point you do hear like some drilling of some sort going on at any point during this live stream and it interferes with the sound. Again, that's out of my control, and I do apologise about that. And also, in the past couple of live streams, sometimes the stream has cut out, and again, that's out of my control. A lot of the time, my control of this live stream. You're surprised how much of this live stream is actually out of my control. But yes, nevertheless, sometimes in this live stream, sometimes in these live streams, the live stream will actually cut out, and the stream will cut out, and sometimes that's just completely out of my control. So that does happen. I do apologise, but I'm warning you, it could happen. And I will probably just stop and just start again if that does happen and repeat myself, just in case you missed anything. But yes, there's a couple of housekeeping items off the bat. And also, I just want to remind people that over the next couple of weeks, like I said before, I'm really busy. So I'm trying to do as much on YouTube as possible, but I might be absent on YouTube for like a couple of days at one point. I mean, usually, like I said before, I do live stream on a Wednesday, but I didn't do one yesterday because, well, I was so busy, and I'm still really busy today, so I don't know when I'm actually going to get my next live stream in. Hopefully next Wednesday, but we'll have to wait and see to see how next Wednesday goes. Next Wednesday. But yes, also, film review wise, I don't have any film reviews that I've planned for tomorrow yet, so I won't probably be uploading till Monday, because I'm going watching House of Gucci tomorrow, but I probably won't get my review of that till Monday, because I'm going to film, I'm going to edit, and again, I'm short on time right now. But nevertheless, I will hopefully get my review of House of Gucci up sometime next week, and also play my first Christmas review, seeing as we'll be getting to December next week. Blimey, that's quite quickly. I mean, it's a month till Christmas today. That's something. That really is something. I only just realised that actually before I turn on this live stream today. So that's quite scary in my opinion, because I've got a lot to do before Christmas. But nevertheless, I'm looking forward to Christmas anyway, and I'll probably be doing quite a few Christmas reviews like I did last year on this channel. Last year, what did I review? I reviewed Scrooged, didn't I? I did Bill Murray Christmas film, which is kind of like a modern day take on a Christmas Carol. I also reviewed the Muppets Christmas Carol, wonderful film. I also reviewed the Jim Carrey Christmas Carol, the animated one, directed by Woman to Make His. I don't know, I reviewed quite a few Christmas films last year. I can't actually remember some of the ones that I reviewed. Oh, there's one which is nagging me, but I can't remember what it is right now. But yes, you get the point. Oh, I didn't know. I watched the Santa Claus films last year, but I didn't review them. But yes, you get the point. Hopefully this year I'll be doing some more Christmas reviews. So look forward to that coming on the channel pretty shortly. And also look forward to my review of House of Gucci, which will probably come up sometime next week. And also my review of Tick Tick Boom. I'm going to try and watch that movie soon. And also my review of the Get Back documentary. Man, I've got a lot to review right now. But it's exciting. Cinemas are open, things like that. It's exciting that these movies are finally coming out, unlike last year where we didn't really get anything coming out around Christmas, and then what we did have coming out around Christmas wasn't really available to all the territory. So I didn't actually get to see Wonder Woman 1984, which came out last Christmas, to like March this year. So at least we don't have that going on. At least we don't have the pandemic at its worst again. The pandemic's still about, but hopefully things stay open, and hopefully we get to see movies like, you know, West Side Story and Spider-Man and The Kingsman all before the new Christmas, or before the new Christmas, or before Christmas. But yes, in doing so, we're talking about my anticipation quite a lot, but I'm also going to be talking about something that I think will be on quite a lot of people's lips over the next couple of weeks or so. And that simply is, well, the next couple of weeks or so, that simply is this whole topic to do nostalgia, and whether it's a good thing or a bad thing in these movies right now. Because basically, recently, Ghostbusters Afterlife, like I got up there, was released. Well, I've got it up. I've got it up. Hey, I've got it up there. Ooh, my hand's going behind it. But yes, basically, was it last week? Wow, the weeks are going slow. That's what they're going both slow and quick. I don't know if anyone had that. But yes, last week I saw Ghostbusters Afterlife twice. I saw it twice. The first time I really enjoyed it. Second time I enjoyed it even more actually. But obviously, Ghostbusters Afterlife is a film that relies a lot on nostalgia, and not necessarily in a bad way. And my topic that I'm mainly talking about today, I'm not really talking about any big like movie news and stuff like that, because there has been some snippets of movie news, but I'm not really talking about that at the moment, because actually this topic is something which I've been thinking about quite a lot recently, especially with Ghostbusters Afterlife just being released, and especially Spider-Man No Way Home on the horizon, and potentially some other, nostalgic-filled films coming within the next 2 years or so, like Jurassic World Dominion, and also Indiana Jones 5 in 2023. God, still annoyed I have to wait that long for the new indie movie, but nevertheless, yes, I think this topic is going to be on people's lips for quite a long while, because especially in the past couple of years, with, Stars of Force Awakens, with Jurassic World and whatnot, there's been a lot of focus on nostalgia in cinema. And basically, what I'm talking about today is whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. So like I said before, Ghostbusters Afterlife came out last week. I saw it on Friday, and then I saw it the following day, I saw it on Saturday, and I enjoyed it a lot more the second time, and I still enjoyed it a lot the first time. I think it's a really, really fun movie. I don't think it's a brilliant movie. Like, I don't think it's deep or, I've got a really... Actually, I do think it is a bit emotional. I was about to say it's not got its emotional core. No, it does have an emotional core. Especially if you've seen the movie, you know exactly what I mean, and particularly in the whole last act, not to give too much detail there. But yes, I think it's quite an emotional movie and things like that. But I also think the movie relies on not nostalgia. You have the whole gargoyle coming back, the Demodog. You also have the whole stuff through, the mini Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, which a lot of people criticise. Personally, I adore that stuff in this film. And you've also got all the references, like the original Ghostbusters, then they got like Zeo coming back. You have, all the original Ghostbusters coming back. Again, that's not a spoiler, that's being highly publicised right now. We know the original Ghostbusters are back in this film, that's being highly publicised. So you have all these nods to the original. There's loads more as well. Like, you don't actually have Slimer in this film, which is, the green slime ghost. You don't have him in this film, you have Muncher instead. But it's a kind of a bit of a nod to the original, and also you have the song in there, which again might not seem like a big nod to the original, but still it's a nod to the original. Bear in mind, I just messed with a little screw I've got there. But anyway, yes, you get the point. There's a lot of nostalgic references in the new Ghostbusters to the original 1984 Ghostbusters, and a bit to Ghostbusters 2 as well. So small, slight references to Ghostbusters 2, but obviously not as much as the first Ghostbusters. And personally, it didn't bother me in Ghostbusters Afterlife. Now, I know one of the big criticisms to do with the new Ghostbusters Afterlife, like I keep saying here, like I got the post up there, I know one of the big criticisms has been nostalgic elements and how this film, quote-unquote, doesn't stand by itself. I disagree with that criticism. I think this film does stand by itself. I think that Goonies energy that you get in this film with, that new, younger cast makes it stand on itself. I mean, I know some people criticize it because it's got like a bit of a Spielberg-esque to it, and it's like the same way Stranger Things has. Personally, and this might be a bit controversial, personally, I prefer this film over Stranger Things, over all the Stranger Things I've seen so far, and I quite enjoy Stranger Things. I do. I think the first season of Stranger Things is particularly a lot of fun, and I think season 2 and 3, I think they're enjoyable, but I think the first series was definitely the best. But nevertheless, I think Ghostbusters Afterlife is better, which is slightly ironic, by the way, because I have Finn Wolfhard in best in both of them. Sorry. But yes, I think Ghostbusters Afterlife is better because, yes, it relies on that nostalgic element, but that's the only way you could do Ghostbusters sequel, or should I say threequel at this point, because this is the third in the franchise, because we're discounting the female reboot, which, again, I'll just reiterate my opinion on this one. The female reboot of Ghostbusters, I dislike, but not because it has women in it. I don't care about that. I enjoy Ocean's 8 quite a lot. But the thing is, though, my problem with the female reboot of Ghostbusters is simply that I didn't find it funny, and also I didn't think it was well made, which is slightly surprising because it's done by actually a pretty good director. He also directed, Bridesmaids in the past, and I quite enjoy Bridesmaids. I think it's actually a really enjoyable film, and he's had some, cracking episodes of The Office in the past as well. But the thing is, though, he didn't do a great job with the Ghostbusters film, which is a bit surprising. But anyway, Jason Reitman, who came and did the new Ghostbusters film, essentially Ghostbusters 3, Ghostbusters Afterlife, Ghostbusters 3, he's done a great job. Because in the end, the only way I think you could do Ghostbusters sequel in this day and age is through all those nostalgic elements and bringing all that stuff back together. I think that's the only way you could do a Ghostbusters sequel in this day and age. Because bear in mind, the original came out in 1984. It's not like Ghostbusters 3 came out in 1994, like 10 years after the original. And it's not like it came out 2 years after Ghostbusters 2. It came out, well over, how many years is it now? It came out, 30 years after the second Ghostbusters film. And it's getting close to, 40 years. I might be getting my maths wrong there, apologies if I am, but it's getting close to like 40 years after the original Ghostbusters. So it's been a long while since we've had, a proper Ghostbusters film with the original cast returning, playing their characters again, and with all these connections to, the past to, canon Ghostbusters films that we've had so far. So I think the only way you can make a threequel, if you will, is through adding all those nostalgic elements in them, because otherwise, how do you do it? How do you do a Ghostbusters film? You can't really do a new story, because then I think if you try and to, create all these new elements and try to tie up to the original, I think for younger generation, they might find that a bit confusing. Because bear in mind, I think this film is aimed at a younger generation I think that Jason Reitman is trying to aim this film at a younger generation to get interested in the original Ghostbusters, if you get what I mean. I think he's trying to aim this film. I think he's trying to get people interested, particularly a younger generation, into the original Ghostbusters. Because when I went to go watch this film a second time, I was in a cinema full of people, and there was a family there and everything with a couple of kids. There was also a couple of kids down in front of me and things like that. And all I was thinking was, I bet they weren't even alive. Well, they definitely would have been alive when the original Ghostbusters came out and, when Ghostbusters 2 came out. So, in the end, I think this film, I'm not saying this is a criticism, by the way, but I think this film is, aiming itself to get a younger audience potentially more interested in the Ghostbusters franchise in a similar way to Star Force Awakens did, and a similar way to Jurassic World did as well. There's two films there, which I know a lot of people don't like Star Force Awakens, and I know a lot of people don't like Jurassic World, but personally, again, I enjoy those films quite a lot, and I know those films also rely a lot on nostalgia and whatnot. That's not hiding them in those films. There's quite literally moments, in the Star Force Awakens which quote the original, and there's quite literally moments in Jurassic. There's one section of Jurassic World actually that I'm going to talk about a bit later, where they literally go back and revisit the original Jurassic Park that we saw in the first Jurassic Park film. That is quite literally a moment that we see in, Jurassic World. There's a whole, half an hour where they go and visit the original park, and it's like, really, do you need to do that? But I've got to admit, I like Star Force Awakens a lot more than Jurassic World, but I like both of them quite a lot. And that's kind of how I feel about Ghostbusters Afterlife. I think this is the only way you could do a sequel, or threequel, like I've been saying. I think this is the only way you could do a third Ghostbusters film, is if you have all the nostalgic elements come together. And I'm not, if people don't like those nostalgic elements of this film, that's fine, it's completely understandable. I understand why. But I've got to be honest, it worked for me. Seeing the original cast back, seeing the Gargoyle back, seeing the mini Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, seeing all these characters back and all the references to the original worked for me. And I think the reason it was because I watched the Ghostbusters films, the first two, quite a lot of times as a kid. And I just stopped watching them after a while. I don't know why, I just stopped watching them after a while. And I hadn't really watched a Ghostbusters film properly until I sat down to watch a female reboot, and it just didn't work for me. But then Ghostbusters Afterlife, I watched the original Ghostbusters in Halloween not too long ago, and I remember thinking to myself, oh, now I can't wait for Ghostbusters Afterlife. And then about a month later, I go and see Ghostbusters Afterlife, and it makes me want to go back and rewatch the original and Ghostbusters 2 now. And I think that's what this film is trying to do in the end. I think having a film which relies on nostalgia quite a lot and aiming to a younger generation to get interested in this franchise, which has been going for quite a while now, is not necessarily a bad thing. And I think Jason Reitman as well, the director of the film, also doesn't hide in that. I listened to an interview which he did on Just the Facts, which is a brilliant podcast, by the way, where he talked about, how this new Ghostbusters film is very much about going into your grandfather's basement and seeing what's there. And that's quite literally what they do in the film. Egon's grandkids go into Egon's basement, and they realise, okay, all this Ghostbusters equipment is here, and they become like mini Ghostbusters themselves, and it's a lot of fun. And I think that is the only way you could do Ghostbusters 3. I said it before and I'll say it again, I think that's the only way you could do this film, because that way you're both appealing it to, die-hard Ghostbusters fans, which you kind of need to do at this point, and also you're opening up this franchise to a new generation who perhaps, may have watched the original Ghostbusters, but don't remember it so fondly. And actually, I don't know if this will be anybody, but the thing is though, if somebody actually does prefer this new Ghostbusters over the original. I don't, by the way, but some people might. Some people might. I don't know. It's all subjective. Some people might. If they do, they may actually go back and watch the original Ghostbusters now and go, actually, you know what? I like that a bit more because of Ghostbusters Afterlife, if you got what I mean. Because Ghostbusters Afterlife, did all those references and did it in like a modern day way, and actually they did it really well. And I know there's been quite a lot of people who don't like Ghostbusters Afterlife, who have like big problems with it, but all their problems seem to be nostalgic elements. And seriously, I'm being honest, I don't understand how you could do Ghostbusters sequel, well, threequel should I say, I keep saying sequel, but threequel, without doing all the nostalgic elements. Bear in mind, it's 2021. The franchise started in 1984. The first Ghostbusters film came out in 1984. I wasn't even alive when that film came out. I used to watch it as a kid. There's a lot of people my age who didn't watch that first Ghostbusters film as a kid. And so I think having a film like this, which perhaps owes itself a lot to the original Ghostbusters film, is not a bad thing. I don't think it's a bad thing. But another reason I also brought up this whole idea of nostalgic elements in films going forward is because of a little movie, don't know if you've heard of it, but a little movie coming out soon called, what's it called? Can you guess? Spider-Man No Way Home. Now, if you're living under a rock, then I'd be surprised if you don't know basically what's happening in this new Spider-Man movie coming out. Coming out December 17th in the US. I get it on December 15th. Unfortunately, I probably won't go and watch it on December 15th, but I'll probably go watch it on December 16th, so I'd see it a day earlier than all the people in the US. Haha! But anyway, yes, I just wanted to point that out. Spider-Man No Way Home's coming out a day earlier in this country, 2 days earlier in this country, which is really exciting. But anyway, basically, Spider-Man No Way Home, from the trailers and from all the rumours surrounding this film, is looking like it's going to be a very nostalgic film and rely itself quite a lot on fan service. And basically, they're the same thing, by the way. I mean, I know a lot of people say, like, nostalgia and fan service are two different things. They're the same thing when you think about it. Fan service is appealing to fans because it's doing something which fans have liked in the past. That's very similar to nostalgia. In fact, it's basically the same thing. So, yes, basically, this new Spider-Man movie looks like it's going to be, Spider-Man fan service, the movie. And the thing is, though, I think that's okay. I think that's okay if it's done well. I think if it stands on its own tentacles, should I say, with Dr. Octopus and whatnot, I think if it stands on its own tentacles and stands on its legs, I think that's a good thing. And if you've seen from the trailer, you have Dr. Octopus returning, you have Electro returning, you have Sandman returning, you have the Lizard, you have, Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin, all these characters returning, and potentially the original Spider-Man returning with Tom Maguire and Andrew Garfield, not being confirmed, but come on, they're in it. But yeah, basically, if all these rumors are true, and if what we've seen in the trailers is, how should I say, built on more in this new Spider-Man movie come out this Christmas, then this is going to be a very nostalgic movie. It's going to be a very fan-servicey movie as well, but that's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing because you know what it might do for younger audiences who go and watch this new Spider-Man movie who perhaps haven't really seen the Spider-Man movie before the Tom Holland Spider-Man movie, before Spider-Man Homecoming. They might get interested now in the Amazing Spider-Man movies, and they might get interested in the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing in my opinion, because then they can go back and we watch these brilliant movies. Then they can go back and we watch the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies with Green Goblin, with Dr. Octopus, Man-Marv. Oh my god, I love Spider-Man 2, I really do. And then Spider-Man 3 as well, they might go back and really enjoy that film. I like Spider-Man 3 quite a lot. I've got to admit that. I'm a big defender of Spider-Man 3. I think Venom in Spider-Man 3 is awful, but I love everything else in that film. I've got to admit that. Sometimes for the wrong reason, like seeing, Peter Parker dancing down the street is something I would never ever expect to see in a Spider-Man movie, but nevertheless, go and check out Spider-Man 3. It's in there, but yes. I think having all these nostalgic elements and having Sandman returning, having Dr. Octopus returning, having Green Goblin and Electro and the Lizard and so on and so on and so on returning, because bear in mind, I also think there's going to be some other big cameos from those original films in this film. I might be wrong, but I think there's going to be some other cameos which we don't expect. Potentially one of the past Aunt Mays returning, that might be quite interesting. But having all these characters returning is a good thing because it spreads awareness for all those past Spider-Man movies, which are better than the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies, in my opinion. And I like that. I mean, not the Amazing Spider-Man movies. I don't think the Amazing Spider-Man movies are better than the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies. But I do think all three Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies are the best Spider-Man movies today. That's what I generally think. I'll answer that comment at the end. But Thank you for commenting. Thank you so much for commenting. I will answer that comment at the end, by the way. I've only just seen the comment, but thank you so much for commenting, and I will answer that towards the end of this discussion. But yes, basically, what I'm saying is, I think that all these nostalgic elements coming together in Spider-Man No Way Home is not a bad thing, because it opens all these windows for a younger generation to go and watch these previous Spider-Man movies, you know, from the past and things like that. But the thing is, though, nostalgic elements and fan service in movies can also be done badly. You know, there can be a good thing and there can be a bad thing, like I said early on in this live stream. And my example here is from Avengers Endgame. Now, I know, a lot of people love Avengers Endgame, and I'm so happy people love Avengers Endgame. I really am, because, you know, I wanted to. I really did. And I loved it the first time I saw it. But the second time, I just kept, no, there's too many fan servicey moments in there that it just crossed a line for me. But if you love Avengers Endgame, I'm not taking that away from you. I promise I'm not taking that away from you. I'm jealous of you, because you watching the movie I wish I watched as well. But I'm not a fan of Avengers Endgame, but I'm beyond happy that everyone else does. But anyway, nevertheless, let's talk about Avengers Endgame. It's all fan service moments. There's quite a lot of fan service moments in Avengers Endgame, and if you don't believe me, go and watch the movie again. I can assure you there are lots of fan service moments in that film. The thing is, though, for me when I was watching Endgame, and particularly the second time in the cinema, it just crossed the line with me. I was like, no, this is too much fan service, because I don't think it stands on its own legs. There's a lot of people out there, and it's all subjective, that's fine, but there's a lot of people out there that say, you know, Avengers Endgame exists by itself. No, it doesn't. I just gotta say that it doesn't, because it has too many references to the past MCU movies for somebody who's new to this, you know, whole MCU, to go into Avengers Endgame and really enjoy it, you know, as the only movie they've seen in the whole of the MCU, because I think there's too many references in it. Like, I remember the first time I ever saw the first Avengers film, you know, one that came out in 2012, where they attack New York and, you know, Loki's the villain. I remember watching that for the first time, and there was a whole section where Captain America is having these flashbacks from when he was in the ice and stuff like that. And I remember just thinking to myself, what the hell is going on here? Because I hadn't watched, you know, the first Captain America film at that point. I hadn't watched Captain America the First Avenger. And the thing is, though, I would much prefer watching an Avengers film over Captain America, Thor, Iron Man, or whatnot film. I prefer to watch an Avengers film over any other Marvel character. But the thing is, though, I remember watching the first Avengers film. I'm not talking about Avengers Endgame here. I'm talking about the first Avengers film, which came out in 2012. I remember watching that and being confused in large sections because I hadn't watched Iron Man 1, 2, 3, and I hadn't watched the first two Captain America films. I hadn't watched the Thor films, and watched any Marvel movies up to that point, and just be sitting there going, okay, I think if I was, I think I would previously watched those Captain America films or whatnot. I think if I'd watched those films beforehand, maybe I'd be enjoying this film a bit more now, but I wasn't. And I remember going back and watching Avengers Endgame with someone who wasn't so, you know, who hadn't watched so many Marvel movies when we went to go watch Avengers Endgame. You've seen like Black Panther, Iron Man 2, a couple other movies as well. But the thing is, though, he hadn't watched many Marvel movies, and he just sat there confused for most of the film. And I don't think that's a good thing. I think that's nostalgia not working well, because there it's appealing to fans who are already fans of this franchise, not fans who, you know, don't know this franchise well. They're not fans that way. You get what I'm trying to say? It's not appealing to a younger generation because it's appealing to a generation who've already known these movies, and that's fine. You know, if you've really enjoyed this movie so far, you know, I can clearly see why Avengers Endgame might be, you know, one of the best movies of all time for you. But for me personally, as someone who got into the franchise halfway through and who, you know, disliked more movies in the MCU than liked them, I do like some MCU movies, by the way. I want to point that out. I do like Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2, like Iron Man 1. I like, you know, the Spider-Man Homecoming films, and I like stuff like that. But the thing is, though, you know, I was watching Avengers Endgame, and the fan service was just crossing a line for me. You know, there's got to be a point where this movie exists by itself and just stops being callbacks to the past and moments where the fans go, ah, that's a nice little moment. Oh, there's Michael Douglas there. Ah, there's, I don't know, Marisa Tomei there, there's Aunt May. Oh, there's all the characters coming back. Oh, that's a little nice nod to Black Panther. That's a nice nod to Ant-Man. That's a nice little nod to, I don't know, Captain America 2. They shouldn't have those moments in a film like that. And I think it works in Ghostbusters Afterlife, and I think it works, well, hopefully it should work in Spider-Man No Way Home, because I think it's a different idea. I think in Avengers Endgame, it's just appealing to fans, already fans of the franchise, whilst in those other films, whilst in something like Ghostbusters Afterlife, it's appealing to fans who perhaps, well, not fans of the franchise, and people who perhaps are just going into a Ghostbusters movie and hoping to enjoy it. But I also think that that's a problem with some of the most recent Star Wars movies. Star Wars movies which I've really enjoyed. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I'm a huge fan of the Star Wars sequel trilogy. There's a lot of people out there who dislike it and just simply make video after video after video talking about how much they dislike Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, and The Rise of Skywalker. Personally, I like all three. I love Force Awakens, I love Last Jedi, and I enjoy Rise of Skywalker, but it's got some big problems in there. But nevertheless, even in those films, which I like quite a lot, even a film like The Rise of Skywalker, that has an unbelievable amount of references to the original Star Wars trilogy. That is an unbelievable amount of callbacks, and sometimes work moments in the film where fan service, did push a line for me in that film. But ultimately, I enjoy The Rise of Skywalker because it is its own thing, and it does some new and unique things. And, whether you dislike The Rise of Skywalker or not, you cannot disagree that that movie took some brave ideas and took some brave twists. Not all of them worked, but it did take some brave ideas and do some brave things. And I think that, one of the moments of quote-unquote fan service that we have in The Rise of Skywalker, which didn't really work for me, was Lando coming back for the point of no reason. Like, I understand, that's great getting, Billy D. Williams back as Lando Calrissian. Love that idea. I love Lando in Empire Strikes Back, and I love him in Return of the Jedi. Fantastic, get him back. But have him do a bit more of a plot to this film, because he wasn't really, unless I remember it badly, and I might be. But the thing is, though, I remember watching Rise of Skywalker and just wishing to myself, I wish Lando had more of a place in the film than simply, oh look, it's Lando back. What's next? I don't know. Let's see what happens. Hopefully fans will enjoy the moment. And that's kind of how I felt with The Rise of Skywalker. Now, The Rise of Skywalker has a lot of nostalgic moments, which I think might also get a younger generation who perhaps only prefer the new Star Wars trilogy to get into the older Star Wars films as well. Like, you had the whole moment in The Rise of Skywalker where, Luke is, using the Force to get the X-Wing out of the water. Very similar to the moment where Yoda's using the Force. Pardon me there, where Yoda's using the Force in Dagobah, in Empire Strikes Back, and he gets the X-Wing out of the water there. And also, you have, Wedge Antilles to return in that film, played by Dennis Lawson. You got all these other, callbacks, Chewbacca getting the medal from A New Hope, finally getting the medal of Rise of Skywalker. All those moments might get people wanting to go back and rewatch the original Star Wars trilogy. Maybe not for the best of reasons, because maybe people might get annoyed with Rise of Skywalker, and therefore go, you know what, that film annoyed me so much, I'm going to go back and rewatch the good Star Wars movies, the quote-unquote good Star Wars movies. But at the same time, though, it also might make a younger generation who perhaps weren't fans of the prequels, weren't fans of the originals, but are fans of the sequels. And there are some people out there, by the way, it might be hard to believe, but there are some people out there who are just fans of the sequels to go back and rewatch those movies. And that's what Star Wars Force Awakens did. Yes, Star Wars Force Awakens has so many callbacks to the original Star Wars films, Star Wars Before New Hope. It's an unbelievable amount of callbacks. It's not hiding that. It's basically A New Hope, but rehashed. And again, that's not a bad thing in my opinion. That is not a bad thing in Star Wars Episode... I already said Star Wars before there. In Star Wars The Force Awakens, it's not a bad thing because it might get people back interested in this franchise, especially after the prequels, which were heavily disliked. I mean, I like Revenge of the Sith, and The Phantom Menace, I have a bit of a nostalgic thing about it. There you go, nostalgia again. But The Phantom Menace, I have a bit of a personal attachment to because I watched it so many times as a child. But the thing is, though, even the prequels, I can look back and go, okay, they're definitely the worst Star Wars movies today. But the thing is, though, watching The Force Awakens, and I just want to make sure the street, I thought the stream was cutting out there. But yes, watching Star Wars Force Awakens might get more people back interested in the Star Wars franchise, especially after the prequels. And actually, there was a lot of critics out there, and I know critics are critics, but still, the examples, there's a lot of critics out there which didn't really like the original Star Wars movies. They didn't really like the Star Wars prequels, and then watched Star Wars The Force Awakens, and really got into that franchise. And I'm going to use the example here of Mark Kermode. You may have come across him online before, if you give me a sec there. Eternals is the worst MCU movie. Worst fan service movies, J.J. Abrams' Star Trek films. I can't agree there. I've got to admit, just going to answer that comment there. I can't agree there on that one because basically I haven't actually watched any of the original Star Trek films. I have seen the new J.J. Abrams ones. I can agree with you there. I have seen the newer J.J. Abrams Star Trek films, but I haven't seen the original, so I can't agree with you there. I can't agree with you. I've got to admit, I kind of enjoy the first J.J. Abrams Star Trek film, but even that one wasn't huge on it, but I did kind of enjoy it, I've got to admit there. Best Spider-Man movie, Spider-Verse. I like Spider-Verse. I like Spider-Verse quite a lot. My favourite Spider-Man movie, though, today is still Spider-Man 2. Dr. Octopus. Love that movie. But I can see why a lot of people love Spider-Verse as well. Thanks for commenting. An Eternals worst MCU movie? You know what? I wouldn't completely disagree with you there. I don't think it's a worst MCU movie. I still think the worst MCU movie, for me, probably is Ant-Man and the Wasp or Thor the Dark World. I think they're probably quite awful. But I think that Eternals is also pretty awful as well. Surprisingly awful, because it's an Academy Award winning director directed that film, and it was pretty bad. But anyway, this is what Mark Kermode has to say about Star Wars Force Awakens, and he's somebody who wasn't really a fan of the original Star Wars films. So hopefully the audio works here.
Well, I can't claim to be a huge fan from the outset, and I've always been somebody who's never really sort of clicked with it, never really got it. However, watching Star Wars The Force Awakens, I had that weird experience of being a 12-year-old, seeing, long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, and hearing the John Williams fanfare and going, oh, I get it. It's like that.
There you go. So you get the whole idea that these movies, they make people, skipping a bit there, these movies, they make people interested into a franchise but that perhaps they didn't like in the past, and also get people, a younger generation in particular, into a franchise that they might not be too aware of. And also, I think a similar thing happens with Jurassic World. Now, I think Jurassic World is worse than Star Wars Force Awakens, definitely, but I think Jurassic World does do some nostalgic elements well, and does some nostalgic elements not so well as well. Like, you have the whole, John Williams' original Jurassic Park theme going on in Jurassic World, and I think that works fantastically. I love the way Michael Giacchino's score, interprets the original John Williams' Jurassic Park score, but at the same time, though, there's a whole section of Jurassic World which I hate, and that's basically the part when they go back to the original park from Jurassic Park in Jurassic World, and it is quite literally like, okay, fan service, fans, look at this original Jurassic Park, love it. And it's like, no, it doesn't really work as well as it should do. But I do think there's some nostalgic elements in Jurassic World which work quite well. And also, like Star Wars Force Awakens, although not as good as Star Wars Force Awakens in my opinion, but like Star Wars Force Awakens, Jurassic World introduced maybe a new generation of fans into this franchise, and a new generation of people into this franchise who perhaps weren't the biggest fans of the original Jurassic Park films, well, mainly the original Jurassic Park, and actually go back and rewatch them. Or maybe they watched the original Jurassic Park film, forgot a lot about it, maybe don't have the best memory of it, watch Jurassic World, actually really enjoy it, and then go back and rewatch the original Jurassic Park. And again, Jurassic World is disliked by a lot of people. Personally, I enjoy it. It's got some big problems. Personally, I enjoy it. But the thing is, though, if you get what I'm trying to say here, it's a whole idea of, I think nostalgia can be done well if it introduces fans to a new part of this franchise, or it makes fans like this franchise now. And I understand why a lot of people might not like nostalgia in film, but personally, and okay, I'm going to be a bit naughty here, but personally, in the past, if I've enjoyed a movie in that franchise, like if I enjoy, like let's have the Star Wars franchise, I've enjoyed the original trilogy, and I like Avengers 6 quite a lot. If I've enjoyed movies in those franchises before, then I will go back and I watch, Star Wars Force Awakens and Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker, and even though those movies have tons of problems, I can look at nostalgic elements and go, actually, you know what, that kind of works for me. And maybe that's why I don't think nostalgic elements in Avengers Endgame work so well, because I'm not the biggest fan of the MCU as a whole. But nevertheless, I understand why, some people might absolutely adore Avengers Endgame. I love the fact that people love that movie, because, I always love it when somebody loves a movie more. I always love it when someone loves a movie more than I do. But the thing is, though, it just didn't really work for me in that movie. But then the thing is, though, it goes to the afterlife, the nostalgic elements did work for me. And they did work for me again, to a degree, in Jurassic World. And I think that's where nostalgia can work in films. Sometimes it can be done really, really well, like it is done in Star Wars Force Awakens, in my opinion, and also in Jurassic World to a degree, and also in Ghostbusters Afterlife. But it can also be done really, really badly, like the whole section of Jurassic World when it's done like, okay, the original Jurassic Park, did we need to see that? Did we actually need to see that? And the whole stuff in Avengers Endgame, I know a lot of people love Avengers Endgame, personally just wasn't for me, but you get the point I'm just trying to get at. Nostalgia in films can be done well, and I think with examples like Star Wars Force Awakens and Ghostbusters Afterlife, it has been done well. And I'm hoping it's done well in Spider-Man No Way Home as well, but we have to wait and see. But honestly, I'm really, really excited for Spider-Man No Way Home because it looks like it's bringing all those things we absolutely adored about the original Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies back to the table. Like, it's bringing back Green Goblin, one of the best Spider-Man villains. It's bringing back Doc Ock, the best Spider-Man villain to date, in my opinion. It's also bringing back Sandman, one of the best parts of Spider-Man 3. And it's bringing back the Lizard from the Amazing Spider-Man 1. Not the biggest fan of the Lizard, but a lot of people were. That's great. And also, it's bringing back Jamie Foxx as Electro. Something which I enjoyed his performance as Electro. I didn't think Electro design was pretty good in Amazing Spider-Man 2, but I enjoy Jamie Foxx, so the fact that they're bringing him back is, I think, a great idea, and hopefully the nostalgia will be done well in Spider-Man No Way Home. We can only hope. But hopefully they are done well, because man, I can't wait for that movie. And hopefully it has its own legs as well. Hopefully it's, a continuation of the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies we've had so far. Spider-Man Homecoming, Spider-Man Far From Home. Hopefully it's a continuation of those movies we've had so far in this franchise, because I want it to be its own thing, but also do those nostalgic elements quite well in a similar way that Ghostbusters Afterlife did, in my opinion, as well. But yes, Spider-Man No Way Home is still my most anticipated movie for the rest of the year. I can't wait to see this movie. I can't wait to see it. And I'll be getting it a day before people in the US, so ha ha ha. Do you purchase the OWL streaming service? No, I don't. Apologies about that. Streaming services I do have are Disney Plus, I have Netflix, and I have Amazon Prime. I might get Apple TV in the near distant future. Are you buying any Blu-Rays on Black Friday? Probably. You've actually made me want to now. I don't usually, but I might have a look for Blu-Rays now. I do actually. I still collect physical media, by the way. I still collect it quite a lot. I don't like streaming that much. I mean, I understand why people do. I'm not the biggest fan of streaming, but I do like some streaming stuff we've had already. Like, I'm a huge fan of Mandalorian and whatnot, but I'm a huge physical media collector. I love DVDs. I've got loads up here. Got some at the back over there. I'm a huge physical media collector. I like buying DVDs and Blu-rays and whatnot. But actually, yes, maybe I will. Maybe on Black Friday I will. That's tomorrow, isn't it? Black Friday's tomorrow. Man alive. Christmas present buying time. Yes, I probably will buy some Blu-rays, actually. Great question. And also, one other question I forgot to answer earlier from the boss. Don't know who you are, but thanks for commenting. But yes, one other question I forgot to answer earlier was, what was the best movie you saw this week? Best movie I saw this week so far? Ooh, I'm probably going to say, I watched it earlier this week because I like it so much. I'm probably going to say that the best movie I've seen of the week so far is Spider-Man 2. I watched it earlier this week, and I love that movie. I love it. I'm probably going to make another video about how much I love Spider-Man 2. Yes, you answered. Oh, you've actually put the same question back in there again, and I just answered the exact same question you put in earlier. But yes, yeah. Basically, my favourite film I've seen in the week so far is Spider-Man 2. Haven't been to the cinemas this week. I'm annoyed I haven't so far, but I'm definitely going to go tomorrow. I'm watching House of Gucci tomorrow, looking forward to it. I've heard the reviews a bit, mixed, but hopefully I'm one of the people who really enjoy it. Hopefully the people who really enjoy House of Gucci, and go watching that. I want to watch King Richard, the new one about Venus and Serena Williams' father, with Will Smith in there. Looks like it's going to be his Oscar-winning performance film and things like that. What is your Letterboxd new username? Don't know. I don't have one. As far as I'm aware, I don't have a Letterboxd username. I don't know what Letterboxd is. I'm going to be honest. But anyway, yes. Haven't watched King Richard yet. Want to watch that, but whether is a different question. But, looking forward to House of Gucci. But so far, Spider-Man 2, I watched that a couple of nights ago. Really, really enjoyed it again. Love that movie. But yes, thank you for all these questions, by the way. I don't usually have questions on a live show. It's a real treat to have them. But yes, Letterboxd, like I said before, I'm not sure. As far as I'm aware, I don't have a username there. Apologies. I'm not even entirely sure what it is. But anyway, yes. King Richard is an easy watch, a crowd pleaser. Yeah, fair enough. I kind of expected that. It looks like it's going to be that sort of film. I'm fine with that. Yeah, that sounds quite interesting. I might really, really enjoy it. So hopefully, if I do get around to seeing it, I will give my review of it, obviously. But tomorrow, I'm going to go and watch House of Gucci because I'm looking forward to House of Gucci quite a lot. It's got like a huge cast in there. Ridley Scott, I really enjoyed Ridley Scott's last movie, The Last Duel. Unfortunately, that bombed pretty badly. And I've seen online that he was, he was blaming millennials for that movie bombing, and it's like, not necessarily their fault, probably more the marketing team's fault. But yes, I enjoyed the last year quite a lot, and House of Gucci I'm looking forward to as well. But anyway, back on nostalgia, I'm just going to finish off that before I finish off the live stream as a whole, because I really should be ending this live stream by 12. But yes, back onto nostalgia sec. I think nostalgia in film can be done well, but I also think it can be done badly. And hopefully it's done well in Spider-Man No Way Home coming out this Christmas. That's basically all I'm going to say about nostalgia. I'll probably talk about it a bit more when Spider-Man comes out, because I think there's going to be a lot of nostalgic elements in that film and a lot of fan service moments, and not necessarily in a bad way. Hopefully done in a good way. But I'll be talking about it a bit more probably when it comes out around Christmas. I'm doing a lot of live streams eventually when I finish the Christmas break this year. When I finish for the Christmas holidays, I'll be doing a lot more live streams about Spider-Man, Christmas stuff and whatnot. But yes, looking forward to Spider-Man Home quite a lot. But anyway, thanks for the questions from the boss. Thank you for commenting. And also, yes, love the comments coming in. That's fantastic. But anyway, yes, thank you as always for watching, and if you haven't yet, please do click down below and like, subscribe on this live stream, and look forward to many more both film and TV reviews coming very soon on this channel. And also, if you have a topic you want me to talk about in my next live stream, please do let me know in the comment section below, and I'll probably talk about it in my next live stream. Thanks for the people who have commented in the live chat during this live stream. That really means a lot to me. And also, thank you for anyone who's been watching as well. So see you guys again soon, and look forward to my next live stream, probably coming Wednesday of next week. See you guys again soon, but bye for now. Bye.